What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Prospect Talk podcast. You're back with the crew, Danny, Doug, Eli, and Fernando. What's up, boys?
What's going on?
What are you guys doing today?
Nando, I bet you're hyped.
Yeah,
I am
bro.
so happy.
How was that game, bro?
That game was such a great game to watch, guys. Did you guys watch it too?
Yeah, well, let's talk to the viewers and tell them what we're talking about.
Yes. Let's let it...
So we were just watching the second semifinal game. So it was Peru versus Chile. And it actually ended up being 3-0 with Peru grabbing the glorious victory against last Copa America's champions.
I don't know if it was glorious.
Come on, man. It was a pretty good. It was a pretty
good victory. Congrats, bro.
Yeah.
About to get walloped 5-0.
Let's pronounce that word correctly.
Against Brazil again.
All right, man. Just know we've beaten Brazil before.
Yeah, Brazil's trying to get the victory.
The victory, according to Doug.
Vickery, dickory, dock.
What is wrong with you?
What happened?
He said Vickery, dickory, dock. For anybody that just didn't realize what he said at first. I told you,
Maybe
when you think that you're about to say something funny, I need you to
it was clever.
submit it in paper first. We need to review that.
You know, we should leave all this in the podcast to make it a little more juicy.
Yeah, we won't cut this one out this time.
What are you talking?
So for everybody at home,
we're unfiltered. We don't cut stuff out.
Right.
So we don't cut out like all the takes, but you said some suspect stuff that we have no choice.
The three of us had a separate meeting to give like a specific cutout cues. You'd say.
No, so Nano, as our resident soccer expert, break down that not Argentina, sorry, we'll talk about that in a second. Break down that Peru game for me.
Yeah, so I think going into it, Peru, they knew that they were not going to control possession. They knew they had to be pretty opportunistic and take advantage of their chances, which you clearly saw that in the first half. I think Chile was controlling like 65% of possession, I think, but the score was 2-0 in the first half. You know, our injury to Farfan meant that Guerrero was going to be striking up at the top by himself a lot, but you had really fast guys like Carrillo, Advíncula on the wing on the right side that made some really good plays. And we took advantage of the opportunities. And then Chile came out really strong in the second half. They hit like the crossbar, they hit post a couple times. It was unfortunate for them, but at the end, I think Peru was able to, get that goal. Guerrero scored a nice little shimmy move on the keeper, and he got that third goal to kind of put it away. So it was a good dub. Chile
actually outshot them 19-9.
So the thing about soccer, sometimes the better team doesn't win. No, it's not a shot at Peru.
No, I know.
Who's better that day, And sometimes you just need the ball to go your way. Sometimes teams are unlucky, and you're on, and that's all you need, a perfect storm in soccer, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought you were actually going to go a different direction with that to when we play FIFA.
Oh, no, I mean, there's no comparison because I just kick your ass all day.
All right. Now, come on. Don't lie to the viewers here.
But, no, honestly, so we were actually at a bar last night, and we were discussing Peru and their chances. Actually, we weren't even discussing Peru. This guy just took it upon himself to bring Peru up. And we were like talking about Argentina and what's going on with them and how they just look unpassionate. And then he was like, well, one team that I want to win the tournament is Peru. And I was very surprised. And he was like, they just play with so much passion, and which I have to agree. Peru is a very scrappy, passionate team.
Yeah, they foul a lot. They get a couple of handballs in there. So
they're playing with a lot of heart right now.
They're playing, it means more to them, because when they're done with the Copa America, they're not going back to $1 million contract. They're going back to, some might be day jobs, back to their families.
Yeah.
So they're playing for more,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's, you see it in their expressions and, like their love for the game. It's true. They don't have like that, I guess, high class, culture. Who
scored the first goal for Peru?
Flores.
For anybody who doesn't know what Fernando looks like, go look at Flores.
Right.
It's an identical shot of Fernando. I swear.
Get out of here. What are you talking about?
That's his cousin.
Chill. It's more like a brother.
No.
Nando, going forward, and I need you to say this not as a biased fan of Peru, just as a soccer fan. How do you think this matchup between Peru and Brazil goes?
I know I joke around with Doug all the time, but I it's just so tough to argue against the caliber that Brazil has on that squad. My gosh, you can just see it. Like we saw it in the first game they played in the group stage. It was just two different teams and two different calibers playing soccer. To be honest, I'd be glad if Peru scores like 2 goals. I don't even know if they score 1, but I just think that the way that Brazil plays is just too nice. Would
Brazil's winning this 6-0.
But to be honest with you, I wasn't that impressed with Brazil in the Argentina game.
Yeah, and I'll agree with that. I think, but remember, I think they're playing at a different stage. Argentina was also trying to advance to the next round. They're a better team than Peru was whenever they played. Brazil played Peru. But I don't know. It's going to be tough.
What's going on with your boy Messi that he can't win on the international stage?
Oh, man. I think we've said this before on the podcast. We'll say it again. Messi, and as a Messi fan, it's hard for me to say, but
he's a bum.
He can't really succeed internationally. He can't.
I have to make sure my barber listens to this podcast.
Yeah. Well, make sure you mention it after your cut because we don't need him to mess you up.
Well, Brazil's also got home pitch advantage, so that goes in our favor as well.
With that being said, what's up with
the
pitch?
In your favor against Germany?
The fields look disgusting in Brazil. It's nothing like the World Cup pitches. Have you been seeing them? Like, they look awful. Well,
yeah, they weren't maintained.
Yeah, like after the World Cup, they didn't maintain any of the stadiums that they built.
Well, they don't have the.
I'm sure they probably don't have the funds to do that.
They don't have the money to maintain that.
Yeah.
And most of those stadiums were in like the rainforest.
So on the women's side, we got the Women's World Cup going on right now. USA doing big things, doing
big game,
making it look like
big win
light
against
work.
France.
Not the furthest from light work. They're more like lucking out.
They lucked out for sure in that France game.
And England blew it.
Yeah, they didn't play very well.
Before we get into like the analyzing those games, I want to talk about something else first because it has some effects towards those games. Megan Rapinoe, obviously one of USA's leading scorers, right? You can arguably say she might be the best player on the team, maybe second best behind
she's the best player
Alex
on the
Morgan.
team.
Between them and Alex Morgan,
yeah,
Megan's better.
She had a span of maybe 4 goals in 2 games leading into the semifinals against England. And then she didn't play, and she didn't play at all in that game against England, which a lot of people assumed that it was because of her comments about visiting the White House. I wanted to get your guys' take. What do you guys think about that? You think that's the reason why she sat out, or she's resting up for the finals?
No, you don't rest somebody in the semifinals.
Yeah,
because that's not.
It's
guaranteed.
not the time to rest in the World Cup.
Finals not guaranteed.
Yeah, I think she was actually she had an injury which prevented her from.
Well, I think that's what they're claiming. I mean, who's the doctor?
Yeah.
Is Golden State's medical team?
No, we don't have to talk about that.
No, but I mean, in that scenario, let's say, Fernando, first off, what was the supposed injury?
So, the injury. I'm not sure exactly what the injury was proclaimed to be. I know, like her comments were the ones that were pretty criticized. She was asked by a reporter, are you excited to go to the White House? And her response was, I'm not going to the bleeping White House. And then, that got a lot of attention. And then, Trump responded saying, you should win before she starts talking. And then I kind of like just spiraled out of there. Which, I mean, how do you guys feel about, this happened before, you know what I mean? Like Trump coming out and attacking several athletes here and there.
So I don't want to get into politics or anything like that, but I just want to say if she ended up not playing that game because of that, that's an issue. Now, if it's an injury, like it was supposed to, that's what was said, then that's fine. She's injured, she can't play. But if it's something that has to do with her comments on that, then that's a really big issue, and that's something that needs to be looked at a little bit under a microscope and see, hey, like, are we?
That's a mistake on like the U.S. soccer team.
That's a mistake. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of
on
course.
the U.S. national
because
team.
you have to think about winning the World Cup. What gives you the best chances of doing that? Having her on the pitch.
Absolutely.
That's bottom line. And I think what made it worse for her was that when she was asked about it again, she said she didn't regret saying anything after she received a lot of backlash. She said she only regrets using an expletive, but that she maintains her stance on that, which I don't think helped her
I mean,
but
that's
I don't
her
expect
opinion.
her. I don't expect her to apologize either.
Yeah, that's her
Yeah.
opinion. She's entitled to
And-
that. Somebody asked her a question and she
She
answered
gave
it
the-
honestly.
Yeah, she gave the honest
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah.
And it's not the first time that she's kind of been in like hot water for her opinions, for her comments and stuff. She did it. I think she also kneeled whenever the Colin Kaepernick thing was
Yeah,
going
she
on.
was
Yeah,
kneeling.
she
So,
did
like,
that as well.
she's been in that limelight for a while.
Which is, it's unfortunate that we can't just enjoy how good they're playing, and instead you have the backdrop of this game is, her comments and things like that. But, we've seen this before, right? With Fernando just mentioned it with the Colin Kaepernick situation. At what point does, people's, political beliefs or their stances on the, I guess you could say our modern society, what part of that affects sports and the way we look at, certain games that are being played, and should we allow that to affect the games that are played?
Well, to answer the question, no, we shouldn't. Absolutely not. Because first of all, it's a game at the end of the day, and we're paying customers and we're paying to watch, your favorite players play. Your political stance or, affiliates or beliefs should not affect anything that happens on or off the field, court, pitch, or whatever. I disagree strongly with it. The Kaepernick thing, not just Kaepernick, whoever stood up for whatever they believed in. It could be, who's a guy from Missouri that was gay and didn't really get
Michael Sam.
Michael Sam. He didn't really get an opportunity, even though he was an amazing player. But because how he what he believes in, what he stood out to be, it just sucks that he wasn't given a fair opportunity. So you see it a lot.
You could even say Tim Tebow was another guy like that. You're telling me
Yeah,
you'd rather have
heavy religious beliefs.
Yeah, where he became a
Mhm.
distraction, so teams didn't really want to have them.
No, absolutely.
But-
I'm not a big Tim Tebow fan, but that absolutely.
Bottom line is, I would
happened.
rather take Tim Tebow than Blake Bortles if I'm I'm the Jags, and if he's out there, like,
I disagree.
Well, I don't know
with
about
yeah.
that. I wouldn't go that
disagree.
far, but
okay, the Bills and Nate Peterman.
All right, I guess
that's still a little bit questionable.
What?
No, I would take Tebow over
I
Peterman.
don't think Nate Peterson, takes the Steelers out of the playoffs.
Nate
Peterman.
Nate
Nate Peterman.
Peterman.
I'd take Nando over Nate Peterman.
Nah, have you seen him throw? Absolutely not.
Sure,
I couldn't tell
throw
the difference,
perfect
though.
fire.
To be honest with you, I've never seen him throw, but I just have a feeling like he throws.
If you just look at Nando.
Yeah, if you just look at him, there's no way he
Nando's
throws.
head
athletic.
looks like a football.
Yo, that's some disrespect right there.
Oh, man.
Yo, I don't know where this turned into a roast session, but let's get back on track.
My boy.
No, so now
I think they have the right to be outspoken. They have their own platform. A lot of people nowadays do that, especially with social media active.
they do have a platform.
They just have a bigger voice.
The problem is that the IC with it, by all means, use your platform for whatever you want to use it. There are a lot of people use it for charity and for good uses. But at the same time, in certain scenarios, when your boss is paying you a certain amount of money and you cause a distraction for them, I understand where ownership and GMs can get a little upset.
But it's only a distraction because the media makes it a distraction.
Of course, but that comes with the territory of being a professional athlete playing professional sports. If you go in your guys' current jobs, if you go and say something extremely suspect, right, and it blows up like on Twitter or in the news or whatever, you can't be mad when your job says, you know what, listen, we can't be associated with you any longer.
It's different though if you're saying something suspect, but if they're saying something,
something
they believe in and something that's not, something that other people strongly believe in too.
I think if it's something like hate speech, that's
exactly.
a different
But
scenario.
what they're saying, like, it's nothing that's suspect. It's something that's going on currently in the world, and they're just speaking up on it. So I don't think, as an athlete, I wouldn't want to be controlled by whatever,
Right. I think that's a great point. I agree with that. But if you look at it from like the business and like, let's say you just said it, as an athlete, you wouldn't want that. I agree. I wouldn't want that either. But as a GM or as an owner of a franchise, if you see that that's like bringing,
Controversy.
maybe bad publicity or maybe like a lot of distraction, you don't want that for your team necessarily either.
It,
So it's
it
kinda
can
like it's a tough
alienate a
balance.
certain portion of your fan base,
Oh,
which is
no.
not good for your pockets.
I don't know about it goes that far, but I definitely see where you guys are coming from because it's happened.
It's
We've
a
seen it
fine
happen.
line.
Well, Colin
Yeah.
Kaepernick's a great example of this.
But I think there's a lot that went into that. There's a lot that tied into Colin Kaepernick. It wasn't just, him doing something and ownership saying no.
It was the entire league. kinda.
Everybody,
yeah.
the league and the players got behind Kaepernick, but the owners didn't. So it kind of drew a drift between the league and the players and the owners.
They stopped televising the national anthem at one point because they didn't want to lose viewership because people were turning off their TVs.
And the crazy thing is, Colin Kaepernick didn't ask for anything. Like, he was just kneeling, all right? And he didn't say, put the camera on me. He didn't try to talk about it or whatever. The media just ran with a story, and then it became bigger, bigger, and bigger, and bigger.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Eli, in the sense that these players should have their platform to speak. But I think it's just a very fine line. Very, very fine line. Because at the end of the day, you're still an employee.
Yeah, no.
And you represent the bigger organization. So there's certain scenarios where I think the player's in the right, and there's certain scenarios where I can understand where, management comes from.
I can understand both sides. It's just picking a side. Where do you stand?
While we're on talking about NFL, something that we definitely wanted to talk about, it's just kind of like a fun topic, is, where do you guys rank your guys' like top wide receivers?
So this is a topic
of all time.
Yeah, this is a topic submitted because me and Doug, we were at Universal trying to kill time in a line.
Mm-hmm.
And
you guys stay going to Universal.
Hey, bro, we got annual passes. Might as well go, right?
Of course. Why not?
Yeah.
And Doug had the audacity to tell me, actually, I don't even think we were in a line. We were having lunch.
No.
I almost choked on my chicken tender.
Oh,
when he said this.
I thought you said you were about to choke him. I thought that's what you were about to say.
Well, he was eating chicken tenders.
No, but he told me that Jerry Rice is a better wide receiver than Randy Moss. And I said, absolutely not. Ooh. Now, I can see that most people might say Jerry Rice is.
Jerry Rice might be the best wide receiver of all time.
Exactly.
I disagree. So let's hear your top threes.
Oh, man, that's so hard, dude.
I know mine, and I could start giving you guys a little time.
Yeah, let me hear yours.
So first, it's Randy Moss.
Okay.
2, just because I don't feel like arguing with Doug today.
That's so disrespectful.
I'm going to say
that statement right there, just disrespectful.
I'll say Jerry Rice.
No, say who you believe.
I'm going to just say Jerry Rice.
No, say who you believe.
Yeah, I want to know the truth.
Doug,
or do you actually...
Really?
Yeah.
I think he disrespected Randy Moss by not putting him in second.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's just durability of T.O.
So, T.O. is amazing, but you guys all have Jerry Rice. So, let me ask you a question. Game's on the line. You're on your own 40-yard line. You got to throw it to one wide receiver. You want Jerry Rice or you want Randy Moss?
I want Jerry Rice.
I want Randy Moss.
I want Calvin.
Nah, I want Randy. I don't know if Calvin could get open.
Doesn't matter. He doesn't need to be open. You just throw it up, let him jump for it.
Okay, so then let me say you put the best corner on Calvin. You put prime time on Calvin. He's locked. He's locked up.
Go ahead, Nando.
I get what you're saying, Eli. I would want Randy Moss there, but I don't think that just that one statement means that he's a better receiver.
Because Jerry Rice was also a different kind of receiver. Remember, he could
get open.
He was a great route runner.
He was a possession receiver and a great route runner. He wasn't like a deep ball guy or a guy that you toss it up to and you're expecting him to go jump everyone. I feel like Randy Moss is the better athlete of the two.
He was faster. To me, his hands were
better. No. Jerry Rice has the best hands in history.
Correct.
Absolutely not.
Correct.
I don't believe that.
Bro, I don't think I ever seen him drop a pass.
Let me tell you guys, I know you guys all play backyard football. When you out-jump somebody and you catch the ball, what do you say you did to that guy?
You say Moss.
Jerry Rice.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I used to say Rice.
But if you're going to use that analogy, when you shoot something into a basket, you say Kobe. Does that make Kobe the greatest of all time? No.
Great point.
LeBron still.
Great point.
That's a really good point.
It just happens to be that...
Because Moss was so good, bro. Moss's speed is elite. He's one of the fastest players to ever play.
The reason why getting Moss became a thing is because him out jumping everyone or him, having pulling down a one-handed grab was flashy. It made the top 10 every night.
I think Randy Moss was just, to me, it was fun to watch Randy Moss play than Jerry Rice. I can rely on Randy a little bit more than Jerry to get open when I needed it. When I need 40 yards, 50 yards. I want Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice has
I want Randy Moss.
Jerry Rice has caught 500 more balls.
Okay,
than
and I
Randy
love that
Moss
you brought
did.
that up, because here's my second point. Jerry Rice played with Joe Montana and Steve Young. Randy Moss was catching balls from Dante Culpepper, Jamarcus Russell, and he got Brady for 2 years when he was on the end. And when he did have Brady for 2 years, he broke every record you can in a single season. That's all I want to say. Give Randy Moss, Joe Montana.
What about Chris Carter?
He's great, but I think he got outshadowed when Moss was there.
But do you think, what I'm saying is, Moss had Chris Carter opposite of him. So do you think that...
For like 3 seasons, it wasn't a lot. Chris Carter was real old. He was like towards the end of his career. But I just think I think the quarterback really helps the wide receiver.
So, separate side note, while we're kind of talking about the same stuff, though, Larry Fitzgerald, where do you think he ranks all time? Has to be top 10.
He's up there.
Has to be top 10.
To
Maybe
me,
outside
he's in
of
the
top
top
5.
I think he's in the top 5.
No,
absolutely
because right
not.
side of those. So, in no particular order, you got Jerry Rice, you got T.O., you're going to have Randy Moss, Steve Largent,
Michael Irvin.
I don't know
about Michael.
You guys are crazy.
I don't know.
He's
about
good,
Michael.
but I won't put him that high.
I don't think I put him in my top 5.
Yeah.
I feel like Marvin Harrison was a better wide receiver than...
He had a good connection with Peyton, though.
I think Marvin Harrison's one of the most overrated wide receivers in history.
I think so too.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Peyton made him look good.
Peyton, and he had Reggie Wayne.
Wayne next to him.
Okay,
Reggie
so-
Wayne was his number 2.
So not even... So let's say it. All right. Top 5, you got Jerry Rice, T.O., Randy Moss, Steve Largent, and who's a fit? Has to be Calvin. Has to be Calvin Johnson.
I don't have Calvin in my top 5.
I have him.
I don't
outside
value him
looking
that
in.
much.
Or Chris Carter?
Not Chris Carter. I like guys like
Bro, Chris Carter finished his career with like 14,000 receiving yards.
No, I think he's top 10.
Yeah, but
there's
if
guys
you're
like
going by-
Art
let me ask you-
Art
If
Monk
you're going
was-
by receiving yards, Larry Fitzgerald's second all time.
That's why I'm asking, like, where does he rank? Because
Larry's up there. Who's the guy who came out of Notre Dame? He played for Oakland. Oh man, that's gonna kill me.
Who are you talking about? Notre Dame played. Is this recent?
While you think of that,
he came.
let me ask
Tim
you
Brown.
this.
Oh, okay.
Tim Brown.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
he was
He's
bad
up there too, but
so in the original question, where does Larry Fitzgerald fit in your guys' top 10?
He's up there.
to me, he's number 5.
He might be number 5 for me too, I think, actually.
Yeah.
What he's done is just so impressive with very average quarterbacks.
It's like poor quarterbacks. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Except for Kurt Warner.
Except for Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner and Carson Palmer a little bit.
Yeah,
kind of.
Palmer was pretty good.
You know what I mean? But he had both of those guys for very little
Hey,
time.
y'all
Now-
sleep on my boy because this man gets no respect. But my boy Ocho Cinco was the swaggiest wide receiver out there,
Yo,
bro.
if we're talking about swag, he might be up there with Dion.
You want to love
All-time swag.
I love watching.
Dion had all-time swag.
I
though.
love watching Ocho Cinco play, man.
He's up there, though.
When him and Steve Smith and T.O. would score TDs, it was the best. You had no
Michael
idea
Irvin,
what
too.
they would do. Yeah, and Irvin started it back in Miami and,
Yeah.
and those boys.
The
But
bad boys, bro. They were
Let me ask you
so
this.
disrespectful.
At the end of his career, where do you put Antonio Brown?
oh, he's going to be up there.
Top 10?
I don't like Antonio Brown, but he's definitely
Top
up
10.
there.
Right now, I feel like
Yeah.
he's maybe 7, 8 in my book.
Ooh, really?
Just on pure talent. Not like numbers or anything like that.
Yeah, to me, you just gotta be that throughout your entire career.
He needs
You
to
gotta
do it
be
for like another
sustainable,
5, 6
yeah.
years.
You know,
Because
he's done it for a long time at a high.
He has.
He's done it for a very
But
long
I'm saying
time.
for me to
If you're
consider
comparing to the all-time greats like Jerry, Larry Fitzgerald,
He has to do it for
been up
another
there.
5
You know
years.
who gets forgotten about a lot? But Andre Johnson used to be the best wide receiver in the league.
But he was another guy that he was just so much bigger than everyone else, and that you.
He wasn't like Calvin big though.
Calvin, no one's Calvin big.
He was just like physically like big.
He's what 6'6", 6'7"?
Yeah, he used to push people around.
I think he's like 6'4".
I don't know about that, but I mean, regardless, he's a big dude, so I think he fits that same kind of Calvin Johnson role, just not to the same degree.
No, he
can
had
run
a couple
routes.
of years, but if you look throughout his entire career, I don't think he's consistent enough to
Because
be up
that's
there.
because of his quarterback play.
Yeah.
He had
But
Matt
he-
Schaub for a majority of his career.
He also had like maybe I would say 2 to 3 years where he was like
The
A-
best.
prime, yeah.
A1. Like
Yeah.
it was if it wasn't him, it was Megatron
Yeah.
as the best wide receivers in the league.
But I think the difference is that with Megatron, you could just literally throw it up and he's going to catch it. But
Correct.
Andre, he ran those routes.
Well,
put
and the
himself
fact
in a
that
position.
There were
was-
different wide receivers.
He was so big, but he also ran like a 4.4, which was crazy.
Yeah, Andre
Yeah.
Johnson could run and he was big and he had really good routes. That was just a guy I wanted to throw out, but there's a lot of great wide receivers, but we all know Moss was the best.
I don't know. I feel like wide receivers are starting to become like a dime a dozen, to be honest with you. And I feel like we're getting very few like ones that are great. You know what I mean?
I think we have a lot of great ones, actually. I disagree. Like, I think Julio Jones is going to end up being one of the best of all time.
You have Julio and AB that'll probably end up in the league currently that'll probably end up being like greatest of all time.
Larry,
well, we already talked about Larry. But you get guys like that came out like OBJ that from the beginning he was supposed to be one of the best of all time. He's kind of tatered out a little bit.
He's still one of the best today, but yeah, I don't know if he's going to be ranked all the time. I think if DeAndre Hopkins continues to do what he's doing, he's another guy who can.
Hop has been doing it for a minute, kind of under the radar up until last season, I would say. And
AJ Green, if he had somebody outside of Andy Dalton, oh my lord.
Yeah, AJ Green would have been nasty.
He is nasty.
He is nasty.
Yeah, he is.
All right, well, that was interesting, guys.
Yeah. So this past week we had the London series of the Yankees and Red Sox.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting, right?
Very.
It looks like they had a big turnout for that, which is kind of surprising to me.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about it?
I love it.
I didn't like it too much.
Why?
Really?
I didn't like the fact that to watch the game you had to be up at 9 a.m. to watch it.
That's true.
But it's great for the MLB. Expand your fan base because you can eventually start, if it gets big enough over there as a fan base, you can start acquiring players from there.
I guess I liked it, but I didn't like it with the Yankees and Red Sox.
Well, I mean, those are probably the two best internationally known teams.
I would have wanted it with some other teams.
Like what?
I just felt I saw.
You got to start somewhere.
Bro, Yankees-Red Sox rivalry is the biggest rivalry in all of sport. Not sports, but
they're
in
the
all of
biggest
baseball.
marketable teams.
Yeah, they're big market teams.
They are. No, I agree.
If it's not, it's going to end up having to be like the Dodgers. And I don't even know who else.
Yeah.
The Dodgers and maybe the Giants, just because they're,
Yeah, but that's not even a rivalry recently.
I mean, it is, but it's not like, it doesn't get...
Dodgers be whooping our ass. Giants aren't good enough to be going over.
I was trying to say
like
it without
Cardinals or somebody. Dodgers, Cardinals.
No, but the thing is that doesn't have.
But if you're in another country and you look
baseball.
at the logo,
yeah. Well, what I was saying is, I just feel like that series, it deserves to be in New York. It deserves to be in Boston. Like those fans in London,
I don't know.
They don't
a great
deserve.
Series.
They don't deserve to see those teams play.
There was there
was so many fake fans. I swear, I saw so many videos of fake fans. This one guy had a Yankees hat. He turned it around, and it was a Red Sox hat. And I was like,
you gotta start somewhere, though.
But also, and I don't care about who they're rooting for. It's the fact that they got that kind of turnout. I don't care about whether they are rooting for the Yankees or the Red Sox, or if England is more Red Sox or more Yankees. I don't care. What I care about is that people are that interested about MLB outside of the States.
So I honestly believe it could have been any two teams and would have had the same turnout. Just because it's something new and different, and people would have came to see it.
It's the Yankees.
27
I think
championships,
to prove a little bit of Eli's point, the Jags for the NFL play overseas a lot.
Yeah, but it's not as much of a media frenzy as this baseball series. Maybe it was because it was the first one.
True.
Like I said, I think because it was the first one, I think you could put any teams there and they would have showed up.
I don't know. I liked it. I didn't like the fact that it was crazy early in the morning.
I know, it's hard to get your FanDuel picks in.
It's hard because it's like if you have a job, like it's also difficult.
The series itself was a good series. Well, not a good series. It was a high
scoring.
It was a slugging.
They were playing with cricket scores, bro. That's the reason why England was feeling it. They're like, we can get behind this. It's scoring like a game we know.
17-12. Let's go.
17-13, I think, and then they had 12-8. They had just high scores.
It was. I liked it. I think it was good for baseball.
Yeah, I think it's good for baseball too.
It's great for baseball. I just didn't like the series.
I don't know if you guys know this, but recently this past week, it was Bobby Bonilla Day.
That man is getting paid.
July 1st, Bobby Bonilla Day. So for anyone that doesn't know, Bobby Bonilla used to play for the Mets in the early 2000s. They wanted to get his contract off the books. He no longer played for them. He was getting ready to retire. They wanted to get his contract off the books so they can go out and sign free agents. They ended up deferring his contract with interest, and they pay him $1.19 million every July 1st until 2035.
Keep getting those checks.
Originally, he was owed, I think, $7 million, and it's going to end up turning into, with interest, like $36 million.
That's crazy.
I stopped it, but he deserves an applause for this shit. That is finessing.
That's finesse at its finest.
At its finest.
And every July 1st, they talk about it on SportsCenter. They call it Bobby Bonilla Day. Great for him. He finessed the Mets. But as a Mets fan, I'm really, really tired of it being publicized all the time because there's even worse situations out there than the Bobby Bonilla one. But for whatever reason, it's the most famous. For instance, I'll give you this one. Bruce Sutter. You guys remember him?
Nope.
One of the better closers in the game, played for the Cubs in the 80s. Towards the end of his career, he signed a deal with the Atlanta Braves, right? He ended up retiring 2 years into that contract. He pitched terribly for them. He had like a 4.8 ERA in those like 2 years or something crazy like that. And they owed him $9.1 million at the time, right? He elected during that time, right, when he was still playing for them, he elected to defer his contract, that $9.1 million, same thing, with interest, later down the road. His checks that he was getting while he was playing for them, I think it ended up being like $750K, weren't even for his salary. They were like the first couple payments of like the loan installment.
Jeez.
This man is getting paid, I think up until like 2021 or something like that. Same thing, about $1 million or something a year. His contract was originally $9 million. And he's going to end up earning $45 million all said and done. That's the biggest bad contract in baseball ever. But somehow everyone forgets about that, but wants to shit on the Mets all the time because they're the Mets.
Exactly, you just said it. It's because it's the Mets.
Because it's the Mets.
It's some bullshit. That's what that is.
Bobby Bonilla.
Listen.
Wow.
Keep getting those checks.
It hasn't been a good week for New York sports. And as a New York fan,
has it been a good lifetime for New York sports?
Unless you're a Yankees fan.
Yeah. And I guess the Giants too.
True.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm just getting mentally exhausted. It's like one thing after another. I'm so sick of it.
Well, since we're there, let's elaborate.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can just hop right into NBA free agency if you guys want.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you guys want to start with the Knicks, or do you want to talk about the big signings?
No, let's talk about the Knicks. Let's get it over with.
Damn it. All right. I'm going to just say this. What the hell are they doing?
The franchise, the ownership,
let me explain
management.
right now.
So hold on. I want to preface, before we say anything, I want to preface this by this. I wanted KD and Kyrie. I wanted a big name free agent. In deep down, I kind of knew that we weren't going to sign anyone. But
I think we all knew that.
But by no means did I think we were going to sign a lot of bums for like big contracts.
Well, here's the thing.
And then they made an excuse for it because they said, okay, we want to build a professional lineup, with veterans and all that.
What the hell does that mean?
They just signed Bobby Portis that broke Mirotich's face 2 years ago. I don't think that's that professional.
That's what you say to save face once you make absolutely no moves that are quality in the offseason.
So to defend the Knicks,
well, let me hear this.
Yeah,
I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best here.
Them.
They're looking for 2021. That's what they're doing.
Stop.
All these contracts are 2 years.
Doug, you can't
They're
say that
2
anymore.
years. I'm just telling you.
They've been saying that since after Patrick Ewing left. They've been saying
they've been saying it, but I'm just telling you what their mindset is.
I'm tired of that as a Knicks fan. I'm tired of that as an answer because we've been saying that since LeBron. They said, okay, wait, we're going to go after LeBron. They didn't even have a meeting with LeBron. Then now it comes up, we're waiting for KD.
They didn't offer him a max.
Yeah, which is crazy. Why even have a meeting?
The only team that didn't offer him a max was the Knicks.
But KD also said it wasn't the fact that he didn't get a max from him. That's the reason why he didn't want to sign there. It's because he didn't want to go there alone. And ultimately, that's why he wanted to go to Brooklyn.
There was also a video of somebody. KD was in New York signing some other guys, and some guy was like, "Hey, KD, when you coming to the Knicks?" And he was like, "Never."
Yeah,
right.
It's
the Knicks need to move the franchise.
Here's what the Knicks need to do.
And not only
get
this,
out of New York.
They need to tank.
They've
I'm
been
tired of
tanking.
tanking.
Yeah.
They haven't even officially done a tank.
What do you mean? We tanked this year for Zion and we got RJ.
They got rid of KP. They got rid of everything.
No, that's the mistake. They got rid of KP. That was the big mistake.
Well, they tried to clear up cap room to go sign 2 maxes.
See, that's the wrong way to do it. Use your cap room to get more draft assets, like the Hawks do.
You want to know something I'll put a little cherry on top of this shit situation for you. The Knicks also canceled a meeting with Kawhi because they were afraid of losing out on other free agents.
Was Kawhi going to
Bleacher Report reported that not too long ago.
Hey, Kawhi's staying in
At
Toronto.
this point, you're shooting yourself in the foot now. But I agree, but we'll get to that in a second.
Why are you laughing, Doug?
I can't believe you think that, but okay.
You want to put some money on it?
I think it's
You already owe me
highly
$50.
possible that he stays in Toronto.
I don't think so.
Okay,
bro.
so let's
the
put some
Lakers?
money.
From all these reports I be hearing,
Put some money on it.
all right, what, the $50?
All right, yeah, make it 100.
All right.
I want in on this.
You want in?
I want in on this too. I want to have a separate bet. I don't want you to make two $50 bets because I don't know if you want to do that right now. Wait, you said $100?
Oh, no, it's 50.
50?
Yeah.
Let's do 25.
All right, that's fair.
Nando, get in while you can.
Wait, Doug. You saying he goes to anywhere but
No.
Toronto?
Well, yes, I'll hedge that bet with anywhere but Toronto, but I think he's going to the Lakers. I think it's pretty much a done deal.
Take it,
I
Nando.
should-
Take the deal.
And I'll tell you why later. Just take it.
All right, Doug.
Doug might be a little misinformed.
Yeah, he doesn't know what's going on right now.
Oh, shit. Hold on.
Our bet's already done.
It's already done.
It's already done.
Yeah.
Before you look at your phone, I'm on it. I'm on the bet.
No, you missed
You
out,
took
bro.
too long,
yeah.
bro. He's coming back to the T dot. A lot of reports lately today have been saying that it's going to be a 2-year deal, going back to Toronto, and it's going to be a 2-year deal because after 2 years, he'll be in his 10th year, and that's when he can get
He's
a
going to do
supermax.
the 1-and-1?
No, it's a
It's
2-year
just a
deal.
straight up 2 year?
Yes. So after 2 years, he'll be in his 10th year in the league, and that's when he can officially get the supermax.
They'll resign him there.
And yes, they'll resign him and give him the biggest contract in NBA history.
So where do these reports come from?
Jalen Rose said it today. There's a 99% chance. He said it maybe about 3 hours before we filmed this podcast.
Yeah.
I still think he goes to the Lakers.
Speaking of other,
Cool.
speaking of other free agent signings, right? Like the ones that have actually happened, you got the big one, right? With KD.
Kyrie.
I guess you can say the big two. KD,
Yep.
Kyrie going to the Nets. What do you think that does for them? Even with a healthy KD, I still don't think that makes them a championship contender. But that's just me.
You got to see how they fill out the roster.
Well, without KD, definitely not.
Without KD, definitely not
No,
this
they're-
year. But when
yeah.
they get KD, I like DeAndre. I like Jarrett Allen.
I don't like the DeAndre Jordan signing because they signed DeAndre Jordan for $10 million a year when Jarrett Allen does all the same thing for less and he's younger.
That's KD's guy, though.
Yeah, but
that's a locker room thing.
Yeah.
Bringing DeAndre in.
but for talent, I guess so. 4 years, $10 million. I don't know if I give him that.
Actually,
I
I'm
wouldn't,
excited
but
to
it's
see what
okay.
they do within the next 2 years or year
Yeah.
and a half when he comes
You
in.
just got to see the pieces they bring around.
I also think a good pickup, D'Lo going to the Warriors. I like that for the Warriors.
So I actually
I
don't think
kinda-
he stays
kinda
there.
don't.
He doesn't stay there. That's the reason why I like it because they
Yeah.
use him for the first half of the season until Clay gets healthy.
We gave up
If
a
he
lot.
does get
though.
Clay, if Clay does get healthy in time, they use him around February. They trade him, get some pieces. I think that's what ends up happening.
Actually, I
That's
think their
probably
best
what-
signing was actually Willie Cauley-Stein.
Yes, I was about to say
I like that too.
and
I was a good sign.
Looney, bro, for 3 years, $15 million.
All right.
Bro, that's the steal. Come on. If you're looking at these contracts, Looney for
It's good because
$5
we need to
million
keep
a year?
their depth. Or
It's
get
good for
depth.
depth.
Yeah.
I
You know
thought
what I'm
Looney was
excited
going to get
about?
around $10 million a year, like that DeAndre contract.
I know you guys. I think Doug was giving me crap for this, but Jimmy Butler joining the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
I don't
You
like
like
it.
that signing?
I mean, I'm just glad we have somebody, a relatively big name player coming back to Miami, getting us potentially back into the market.
I don't think Jimmy's there to win, honestly.
I think he just wants the Miami lifestyle.
I think he's there for the lifestyle.
Yeah, he's 100% there for the lifestyle.
He's already at Domino Park playing dominoes with his Sephora. And
I seen that.
I'm like, geez.
It's all right though. Pat Riley's scheduling meetings with Boogie. Maybe making some moves.
I think Boogie goes with the Lakers.
I think that'll be a good signing for them.
I think if Kawhi doesn't sign there, I think, Boogie goes to the
Boogie
Lakers.
teams back up with AD.
Yeah.
I like that combo when they were in New Orleans.
Yeah, and AD doesn't like playing center anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. Which I don't think he should play center.
No. Is there any other big signings?
Al Horford, Philadelphia.
Oh, Philly.
I love what that does for their team.
Philly looks great.
They re-signed
looking
Tobias,
Yeah, Kemba as well.
which they really
Celtics.
needed Tobias because he was the only guy that can hit a three.
Brooke Lopez and Robin Lopez playing together.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's
Kemba
cool.
going to the Celtics. Let's talk about that one a little bit because we talked about it last week, I think. But now that it's official, I don't know how I feel about it.
I think they got better.
I think they just tread water.
I don't know. I think
they're a better team.
we're gonna have to wait and see on that
With
one.
Kemba?
Yeah, I think they're a better team with Kemba.
I think they have a better player, as in like chemistry.
A better
Yeah,
fit.
and I can see him and Gordon playing together better than Kyrie and
It's a
Gordon.
better fit.
I
yeah.
can see that. I agree.
Yeah.
That's
why
I'll
I
give
think
you.
they're a better team.
So what do you think about Terry Rozier's contract going to Charlotte? $20 million a year, basically. 3 years, 58.
I definitely don't think he's worth that.
Jeez Louise.
I think he
Scary
got
Terry
overpaid.
getting that scary money.
I think he's good, but I don't think he's a $20 million
Yeah.
guy.
Well, all right.
I give him 12.
Why not just pay Kemba at that point?
I don't
Because
think
Kemba didn't want to
wanna
stay
be
there.
Kemba didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Well, Kemba said he would be willing to come back if he got near max.
That's what he said. But that doesn't mean it's true.
Well,
He
if
was
said
gone.
it.
His foot is already out the door. He wants
Because
to go.
you don't think he had those conversations with the organization
Yeah,
already?
absolutely. Kemba's looking to win.
Oh, super underrated move. Super underrated move. Miami Heat getting rid of Hassan Whiteside's contract.
Oh, yeah. Congrats.
But then I also really think it's good for Portland because they have a true big man that can actually, like, if he can perform to the way Hassan Whiteside can perform, like, that's a good pickup.
But then
for them.
what's up with Nurkic? Is he
Well,
not
he's
coming
coming back
next
from
year?
injury.
But that's good depth, though.
But I mean, that's kind of a risk because we've seen what Hassan Whiteside can be defensively. Obviously, like a pretty.
He's had a
monster.
quadruple double before.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know. He hasn't been able to prove that he can be an elite player.
Well, that's why you play him at
Because
20 minutes a
that's-
game
no,
instead of
why?
starting
you
him.
do the JaVale McGee.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't even know about that. Miami tried to make him the man. He's not the guy. He's a Robin.
Well, it's also because Miami had no one else. They're still stuck
And
with
did
Justice
you
Winslow.
get to see Did you see the video when he found out and he's in the car? And
Oh,
he's
he
like,
was
"We got
hyped.
shooters.
lit, bro. He was so
We
happy.
got shooters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny.
I was like, a try.
I'm happy for him though. I feel like he can fit great in that team.
I actually follow him on Snapchat, so I saw it when he
When you
posted
saw
it.
it, like as soon as it,
Yeah. And I didn't know what he was referencing. I was like, what is he doing?
So just looking at all the deals, who do you guys think had, or who was your favorite team in free agency? Like, what player that they picked up?
I think Philadelphia. As much as I don't like Philadelphia, I like what they did.
Really? Moves. Mm-hmm.
The Pacers got better.
Pacers is my pick.
Utah got
I
a lot
love
better.
their moves.
Utah's another good one.
Pacers, Utah, Philly, they're all winners. I like the Pelicans.
Pelicans,
I'm
another
very
great move.
intrigued to see that team now.
Oh, so former Pelicans player. I was kind of go back to the Knicks a little bit. The only signing that I do like for the Knicks,
It's Randall.
well, Randall, but also Alfred Payton.
Oh, the
Yes,
Knicks
I
got
actually
him?
like that.
Yeah,
I like that too.
Yeah, we signed him for a 2-year deal.
It's a little bit high, but
But
it's like
I
$9
think
million a year.
he really shined with New Orleans last season, and he looked like a solid triple-double threat almost every night.
I just don't
I
see
like
how
what you get in
these
him.
pieces all fit together.
I don't
for
either.
the Knicks.
So
Like,
for the Knicks,
they got 4 power forwards now.
yeah,
They got Taj Gibson.
Taj Gibson,
Bobby Portis,
Randall, Bobby Portis, Wayne Ellington,
Randall's going to have to play the 5.
Reggie Bullock.
Stay away from Reggie Bullock.
Do you guys wanna tell everyone when I said our group message when we signed Reggie Bullock?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Is that when you forfeited your
Oh,
fandom?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
he renounced.
He almost became a Nets fan.
I'm about to be a Nets fan after that signing.
I feel like everybody in New York can be a Nets fan now.
Thank you. I
The Knicks are
appreciate that.
just
You gave me my out.
dude. The Knicks.
Plus,
nobody,
the Brooklyn jerseys are really dope.
no. I know it's so funny, bro. Last podcast you were saying that you can't see Katie in that Brooklyn jersey. You can be seeing it all.
I'm gonna see it all
day
the
now.
time. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think I want to get a Kyrie Brooklyn jersey. I feel like that's going to be a super fire jersey.
You know what's a very underrated move?
What?
Jared Dudley to the Lakers.
Oh my God! Stop.
Bro, he's
I
gonna be
seen
so lit. Yo, the Brooklyn bench last year was the most
It's
lit,
lit, bro.
bench in
Lit.
NBA history, maybe sports history. Dio Penson, Jared Dudley, those boys were lit on the
Well,
bench.
I also like how cheap they got him. I think he's not going to add much to the team, but they got him for dumb cheap.
He's just gonna be an energizer
It's
guy.
a minimum, right?
Yeah,
2.6
like it's
mil.
like yeah, it's 3 mil, something like that. He's just there. That's good chemistry signing
Okay,
for the
real
locker
quick,
room.
since we're talking about the Lakers, let's say they don't get Kawhi. How do you fill out this roster now? Because you went all eggs in on Kawhi, and if you don't get him,
You gotta just get shooters.
Yeah.
You just got that's what it is.
so what shooters are left? Because Danny Green's not going there.
Danilo.
Who?
Danilo Gallinari.
Gallinari?
Oh,
Nah,
Gallinari.
isn't he under contract? He's still under contract.
I thought he was a free agent
No,
this
I don't
year.
think he's a free agent.
He's under contract still.
I'm gonna check right now.
He's
thought I
still with the
remember.
Clips.
There's not a lot of shooters left.
Yeah, there's not. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can get Boogie, and then, like, what do? You get Rondo
You
and
resign
Stevenson
Rondo,
back?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, you got to go deep for
Oh,
some
no,
shooters.
he's not. Danilo's not a free agent, but they're looking to trade him. The Clips are looking to trade him.
Yeah, I think Lakers, I mean, they better hope they get Kawhi, but I don't think it's happening.
I don't think so either. What do you guys think about Bradley Beal?
I don't think they'll trade him unless they get a really big offer. I don't think there's really a reason to trade him.
I don't know, but let's say the Heat do land him.
I don't think the Heat has the assets.
I know. Well, no, they don't.
They got to trade Jimmy Butler to get him.
Nando, how lit would you be if Bradley Beal comes to Miami?
Oh man, you have no idea.
Are you going out and getting a Bradley Beal jersey?
Bro, the day I find out, I'm buying a ticket to Miami.
Bradley Beal's a top 5 shooting guard in this league. That would be amazing for them.
That would be great with him.
I'm a big Bradley Beal
I don't
fan.
know how he fits with Jimmy in that scheme.
I don't know how anybody fits with
But
Jimmy.
you worry
That's
about that
correct,
later.
though.
How do you
That's
fit
facts.
with Jimmy?
You know
You
who's
just
a...
make the sign. You sign the deal and you worry about it later.
Yeah, but low-key, you know who I think is a sleeper to might get Bradley Beal? The Nuggets. They have the assets to
But
get
why?
him.
They don't
But
need
they-
him. They
and they
got
have
like
so
8
many-
guards.
yeah, they have
Yeah,
so
they
many
traded away
guards.
some of those guards to get him.
7 guards for Bradley Beal.
No, and then
The Wizards just run a stupid small lineup. The tallest guy is like 6'5".
would you do Will Barton, Michael Porter Jr., Malik Beasley, and a first?
I don't
for
trade
Bradley
Michael
Beal?
Porter Jr. because you don't know what he is yet, and
Yeah,
he could
you
be
gotta
a
keep
big
Michael
asset.
Porter.
Yeah, you got to keep him for another year.
Would you do that? Is that a trade you would do if
No,
you're...
we literally just told you no.
if the Wizards, I'm talking about for the Wizards.
Oh well, yeah,
Yeah,
Yes?
yeah. But if I'm Denver, I don't do that.
I don't do that.
I would make that move. That could put you over the top.
You don't know what you have in Michael Porter Jr. He could be more valuable.
Yes,
than
but
that.
I know what I have in Bradley Beal, and it's an all-star caliber player.
I don't know. I would try to work out a trade where that doesn't include Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah.
I think if you were to get Beal, it would have to at least have Michael Porter in there.
I guess.
I don't know.
How do you
Has
feel
anybody
about
ever tried
Derek
Nuggets in
Rose?
Denver? Like, why are they called the Denver Nuggets?
For like gold.
The golden
Gold
golden nuggets,
nuggets?
yeah, like the
Okay.
mining.
Huh.
You were really curious about it, but we kind of like, yeah.
Oh,
We had a very easy answer for
yeah. Well, I'm logging off.
you. What else we got to talk about? I don't want to be stuck. Oh, hold on. While we're still on basketball, the Warriors coming out saying that they're going to retire KD's jersey.
Hey, show him some respect.
Are you kidding me? You're going to retire that dude's jersey? I mean, am I the only one that thinks that this is ridiculous?
They should retire David Lee's jersey while they're at it.
That's more deserving.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, like, do what you want. I don't
But
really
as a
care about
Warriors
that.
fan, like, do you really think he deserves that, man?
I don't know. I think they're just trying to show their respect and thanks to him.
Yeah, but that's not the way.
He brought
Especially
him some
before
rings.
they need to retire Steph's jersey,
Well, yeah,
and they're going to.
once he's gone.
But you
I
can't-
think Steph, Clay, and Draymond might get their jerseys retired.
I don't think you can say. First of all, I don't think you can retire a guy's jersey that played with you for 3 years.
Yeah, that's what's a little bit sus.
So while we're talking about the Warriors, me and Doug were talking about this a little bit. Is Iggy a Warrior or is he a Sixer?
I think he gets remembered as a Warrior because that's where he won the ship
I
at.
think so too.
But I think he was better.
He was better with
in
the
Philly.
Sixers, but
Yep.
I think he might get remembered as a Warrior. Even though this, like, the parting of the ways is very, like, uneasy and, like,
Yeah,
weird.
a little bit weird.
When Andre was in Philly as a Sixer, he was that era's Dame Lillard, where he was so good. Not the way he played. He was so
I was
good.
gonna say,
Yeah, I was
what
like, he
in
can't
the
shoot.
world?
Not the way he played. I saw that look you gave me. He was so good, but he never got the credit for it. He was extremely underrated. Was almost never an All-Star. Iggy's been in the league for years. I think he only has 2 All-Star appearances or something like that.
I don't know if I like that comparison with Dame Lillard.
At that time, he was the most underrated player in the league.
I don't know about that.
He was one of the
either.
best well-rounded players.
He was a good, well-rounded player, but his offensive game has never been great. When he first came in, he was just a dunker.
Well, and
Yeah.
his time there, he kind of evolved more to like a slashing, finishing guy at the rim, but never to
He was never a shooter.
Well, no, that was never his thing. Now I think he's developed a better shot.
To last in the league, you have to be able to shoot now.
Well, now,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
I just think that when he came to the Warriors, he was able to fit in so well to that system.
he just
what they needed him for.
He's a warrior.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, I'm done with basketball.
Yeah, me too. I feel like that's all we talk about now.
Yeah, I'm sick of it.
What else we got to talk about today, guys?
Well, I think we should wrap up on a fun topic. I think Eli proposed this one.
We're doing a short podcast today.
Oh,
We're wrapping up already?
Yeah, man. We still got some time. We still got like another
all right.
10 minutes.
Well, then let's move on to tennis.
Oh my god, this is definitely us grasping for straws. Then, cool. Let's talk about tennis.
I think if you haven't heard the story, it's a pretty big story. Serena Williams
I can't believe we're talking about tennis.
getting beat by a 15-year-old girl,
So let me stop
Corey
you right
Goff,
there.
It's impressive.
From
from
stop you
Atlanta,
right
Georgia, a.k.a. Coco. Shout out.
You got the wrong girl. It was actually Venus.
Venus, yes, it wasn't.
Oh, I'm
Serena.
sorry. My bad.
You
You're
think
right, Venus.
Serena will let a 15-year-old
I was
beat?
gonna say,
Serena's
like,
the
what?
goat.
But Venus has always been the second best sister.
Yeah.
Venus, I feel like, is an average
She's still
player.
a 5-time champion.
Venus was better than Serena, definitely at her prime. But then as Serena got older, she definitely surpassed her.
Serena is easily the
Yeah.
most dominant. I won't. I'm not gonna even say women's. She's the most dominant.
athlete maybe of
Yes,
all time. She
correct.
might be one of the most.
Yeah, definitely
Venus
in
is no
tennis.
slouch.
No, I mean, in doubles, they're filthy. No one can beat them. I don't know. I think it's impressive, but also, like, I need to see this 15-year-old girl win a little bit more before I, like, start saying, like, oh, she's taking the torch. You know what I mean?
So is this more of a,
This is
a rising star
around-
or an aging star?
I think this is maybe a little bit of both, but I also think this is one of those things where it's anybody can win on any given day.
Yeah, but you got to give her some credit. She's 15 years old. She's playing against her idol. At 15 years old, if you told me you got to go hit against Kurt Schilling, I'll be fucked.
Well, I get that, and I'm not saying it's not impressive, but I'm not ready to, like, crown her as, like, the next great thing in
No,
tennis.
I'm not saying that either, but it's a great story.
What I do give her props is, I agree. Yeah, it's way too early. She just played, I think her name is Magdalena something, who was in the semifinals, I think, a couple years ago. So, I mean, to be able to kind of have some poise, to be able to kind of get over the fact that you just beat Venus Williams, and to be able to, beat another pretty good player, that takes some.
Yeah, no,
some
she's
maturity.
great. If you watch her play, she's good. And to be doing this at 15 years old, there's a lot of promise for her.
Yeah.
A lot.
We'll see what happens.
Now, why are you such a negative guy? Give her some props.
I
man.
already said
She's
it.
15
I said
years
it's.
old,
I
bro.
said it's impressive. Did I not say it was impressive?
Well, what did you do at
I'm
15?
just not sold.
Why can't she take on the torch? You know what I mean?
She can, credit to her. Man.
I'm just saying, I'm not sold on it. I'd like to hold my praise. That way, my praise is more valuable when someone does get it.
Oh my
I
god.
don't think she
Well,
wants your
Coco,
praise.
we don't all share that belief, okay?
You guys know the metaphor that I want to use, but I won't use it on air.
Please don't use that.
For real.
What else we got, guys?
Oh, now we're transitioning to Eli's topic here?
Oh yeah, we might as well.
It's another fun topic, I think. Kind of a little bit different, but growing up, what was the best sports video game you guys remember playing?
Oh,
This is easy for me.
I don't know. There were so
This
many.
is not easy for
This
me.
is easy for
nah,
me,
it's
bro.
not easy.
For me, there's two. I'll let you guys go.
What? I forgot the name of the game, man. But I think it was called like The League. It was
Blitz
like
the League?
Blitz the League.
The
the
one
NFL
with
game.
the spinal cord injuries and all that?
Yeah.
That one was ruthless. That game was, you could juice people up with steroids. I
Yeah,
remember
and you
that.
could like go out to the club and stuff like that, like after
Yeah.
games and stuff like that. I remember being a little kid and being like, "This is
Crazy.
dope."
There's a lot of good ones out there. To pick one is so hard.
It is tough.
Ooh.
Maybe we go franchises because it's harder. Like FIFA as a franchise.
I guess,
Okay,
yeah.
so
we
then-
could do that.
I think we all agreed that 2K is better than Live for NBA.
Well, it wasn't always
growing
like
up,
that.
NBA Live was way better. You wanted NBA Live.
2K took over when NBA Live went away, when EA
Yeah.
Sports
Yeah.
stopped making the game,
Yeah.
because Live was
True.
always better than 2K.
Yeah.
And then 2K
Took off.
when everybody had only one option to buy their game. And then
True.
they started investing a lot more money, and now 2K is definitely the best because the new Live is
It's trash.
So I guess a better
Garbage.
example is that, like, you write FIFA over PES.
I don't know. Some people prefer PES, but
Yeah, well, they're
For the
completely-
majority.
yeah, I think majority of people go FIFA, but PES has a really nice like AI compared to FIFA.
I just thought they don't have license for anything.
Yeah.
They don't.
Like,
Yeah.
I want to play with Arsenal, not London Red.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
They don't have the Premier League license, I believe.
No, I think the FIFA franchise. I think the FIFA and Madden, those franchises have to be like the best, like sit down, like 2-player, like couch games that you play with your buddy and you talk shit while you're playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think those games will always go down as like the best.
Currently, I think so. If we're going back in the day, growing up, I have 2 games that always come to my mind.
Yeah, what's your all-time?
First, I always played MLB Slugfest. That game,
Oh
to
my
me,
god, I
is
forgot about that.
Hall of Fame. Like, you can run to first base and knock somebody out on your way there. Like, it was amazing. You can get in fights while you're on the base.
To me,
I loved it.
what I always played was backyard baseball. I like that one.
Backyard baseball is
Backyard
another
was
one.
Cool.
Everybody
I
wanted to
love
play with
Slugfest.
Kenny Sanchez.
To me, it was Garcia Parra.
You talked about the one with the MLB players.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the one where they literally had kids. Remember the kid in the wheelchair?
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah,
they called him something. I think they called him like something Wheeler.
He was fire.
Bro, he was mad fast, bro. You hit something in the gap. It was a triple, no problem.
So my other video game, and I consider this a sport. I think this was my favorite video game growing up, and that's Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh my god.
All the Tony Hawk
amazing.
games, the Pro Skaters and the Underground, I loved it.
Underground was awesome.
Because it just took an already cool sport with skating, and it amped it up to the max.
And
where you could
skating
do
was at its peak,
some
and its
crazy
prime
shit
back
in
then.
that game.
When like Tony Hawk was skating, Paul Rodriguez.
I never skateboarded, but I love playing those games, and it got me into watching skateboarding.
I can't
because it was so
skateboard
dope.
for shit.
I can just
Yeah.
cruise. That's it.
I could grind a freaking fire hydrant for like 10 minutes in the game, though.
I think for me, I've kind of like more the traditional sports games, like not ones like that kids can hit other players or things. But so when I was younger, I would play a lot of like Fight Night.
Fight Night was good.
Fight Night
So
was a great
you're
one.
just gonna discredit like punching things, and then you're
Well,
like,
because he's saying that's organized punching.
Exactly. It's like
Oh
it's
my
you know,
gosh.
something like structured.
I
not
like Fight Night.
a backyard baseball type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fight Night was always Fight Night was good.
I never liked Fight Night.
Oh, hold on,
They
we're
don't
forgetting
have any
about a
good
big
boxing
one.
games out right now.
No, not anymore. Because
It's all
everything's UFC now.
Yeah.
This is a great one. I can't believe we haven't talked about this. Remember NBA Jam,
NBA Jam
Oh.
is up there.
bro? And then you'd get on fire, and the ball would like be on fire as you were shooting and shit.
And NBA Jam Volume 2.
No, that's not. No, that's not. That's NBA Street Volume 2.
Well, actually,
NBA Street
talking
Volume
about
2.
Street.
NBA Street Game
I
3,
love
I'm
that.
talking about
Fun.
Street.
NBA Street,
This
NFL
is-
Street, FIFA Street.
That's my number one. NFL
Street is
Street 2.
They need to bring those games
That
back.
is the best
I like NBA
sports
With the
Street.
exhibit.
ever.
Exhibit
With
was in the
exhibit.
game?
Yes,
Oh
bro.
my god.
You create your own player. You play against these NFL
Chill,
players
bro.
out on the street. You could jump
I did
over
like
people
that
on
one.
moss.
I used to, in NBA Street Volume 2, I used to play with Nelly and the Saint Lunatics. And freaking hit a game breaker on your ass, and it was a wrap.
Bro, in NFL Street, you'd be able to jump off a wall and moss
Yes.
someone like that.
Yeah,
those
it's
games were
legit.
amazing.
Those were fun. I'll give you that.
And you can't beat getting the game breaker, so you could just torture friends.
The game break, get a game breaker too. It was a wrap.
Yo, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
They can touch you.
It went from blue to red and like in slow mo. Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh!
Bro, it used to be the most disrespectful thing when somebody would hit a game breaker in
You put
NBA.
the controller down, you just watch
And
it.
you just watch them and they're like flipping the ball back to each other like 30 times.
Danny just broke Doug's mic as
I-
he was trying to imitate a game breaker.
I apologize.
He broke my game.
I'm gonna bring it way back to one of the first like sports games, which none of us played here, but it's actually known as one of the most fun.
What, Pac-Man?
Not Pac-Man,
Oh.
bro.
What sport is that?
No, Tecmo Bowl.
What the?
See,
You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about. right,
I know
Doug?
exactly what you're talking
If
about.
you look up like the greatest games from just like the 80s or the 90s,
Everybody
not
used
even
to play
sports
Tecmo
games,
Bowl.
everyone used to play it with
And
Bo
then
Jackson.
Bo Jackson used to just cheese people, bro. He was untouchable.
If you know, that's literally
I never-
one of the first ever like I think cheat codes in a game
exactly.
where you just take Bo Jackson, just run side by side, and he was just so much faster than everybody else on the field, and it was a touchdown every single time.
Oh, maybe I just don't know the name, but I think I kind of remember the
Yeah,
gameplay.
it's just pretty much cubes.
It was like 16-bit
yeah,
graphics.
actually, you know what?
like-
I think I remember.
but that's
that.
actually technically known as like one of the better like sport games of all time. And hold on, I have. Do we count racing games in this?
I was going to ask that too, actually.
like Gran
if,
Turismo.
if you throw in Need for
Forza,
Speed,
Mario Kart.
I don't know if that's a sports game.
Relax.
Okay, I tried.
I
I
thought you were
tried.
talking about like they have like NASCAR and like Formula One things.
I like Need for Speed.
Gran Turismo has to be in there. Probably
Turismo.
Gran Turismo and Forza have to be like the most realistic.
When you think about
games.
racing games, yeah.
Chill. I'd rather play Midnight Club over all those.
Oh,
But
It's
Club,
different. It's different.
Midnight Club was like
Chill, bro.
the
I'm street
Blitz the
racing.
League.
Yeah.
It was the
Ice
version
had
of Blitz the
Dub
League for
Edition,
racing.
all of them, they were fire.
They used to talk mad shit to you before you raced them,
Bro, Midnight Club was amazing.
and they were. I'm not gonna lie, the Midnight Club games were like the
Double
first couple.
Edition Remix Atlanta.
Yep.
I was always more of a Need for Speed guy, but I feel you.
Midnight
What I
Club
like
was
about
always
the
like
Need for Speed is you could like race other guys like on the street who could just like you run into them.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, like in multiplayer, like you would just
Yeah.
pass by them and then you can start
Pink
racing.
slip.
I think that's about everything, right? Like,
Yeah.
what,
Well, I
can you
want to
guys-
give out a little shout out to NHL because I love playing NHL.
Oh, the Chell?
The Chell.
Well, Chell is getting bigger now too
Yeah,
for
it
even
is.
people that don't play
needs
hockey.
to, 'cause
It's
Chell
fun.
is
It's
I'm
so
buying
fun.
Chell this year.
I'm buying Chell for sure.
I have to.
Yo, it's actually free.
well,
No,
last year's
actually,
version.
last month. But it was free last month
Chell's
for
one of the
Xbox
best
Live.
games. It's gonna have to replace
So-
I think Madden.
You know, we talked about older baseball games, but we never talked about like current baseball games.
I mean, it's just MLB The Show.
Which, as an avid The Show player, that game is ass and has been ass for the last 5 to 6 years. 2K needs to come back.
Ooh, I have a good question. What do you think has the best like journey mode or like player story mode?
Oh, it has to be
out of
2K.
all?
Yeah, that's 2K.
2K pioneered it all with
If
the
you're
My
talking
Player.
about WWE
Okay, so
2K,
actually-
either that or
hold on.
maybe
NBA
NCAA
2K.
I was gonna
football.
say NCAA. That's the game we never brought, but the Road to Glory on NCAA
Yes.
was phenomenal.
You could choose to
Yep.
either go to class or like go to the field or go out to
Bro,
like an
it was
event.
amazing. I love playing NCAA. They need to bring that game back.
Well, they ain't bringing that back
Well, they're
until they
actually
pay the
talking about
players.
bringing it back.
That would be
EA
good.
is
if it-
working on
that was a hot
license.
game.
But yeah, I think Road to Glory with NCAA.
And I think early in the 2000s when Tiger Woods was doing his thing, PGA was a big thing too. There was a lot of
Bro,
people playing golf.
They were, and then the Kinect came out.
They
Yeah.
didn't have like
And
Chill, I
Wii
used to do
Sports.
that, the Wii Sports golf.
Yeah, the Wii Sports.
I
golf
used to be
came out.
lit on that, bro. That and
didn't they,
bowling.
didn't they also have like Bass Pro Fishing, something like that?
Bro, they still have that.
Yeah, they still do.
Bro, when I go to the
Deer
arcades,
hunt?
I always be playing that. Deer Hunt too.
Yeah.
I'm filthy in that game. Does anybody else have any other?
I think we just named every game.
yeah, I think we just named every sports game and just
We're
went
just
over
like,
that.
damn.
But yeah, NFL Street 2, that's hands down my favorite game.
I think
of all
Mario
time.
Kart should be allowed to be a sports game.
No, bro.
No,
not,
bro.
Not
What are you
at all.
talking Because then
It's
because then
racing.
you could say Mortal Kombat because of the fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
First game.
I'm okay with that.
No.
Nah.
Anyways, hot take. I think Crash Bandicoot Racing is better than Mario Kart.
Absolutely not. Mario Kart's the OG. Crash Bandicoot just
Nah.
ripped it off.
I actually love
Crash Bandicoot
I kinda
perfected
like
it.
Crash Bandicoot.
It perfected it.
Nah, bro. I like Diddy Kong Racing better than I like
Oh,
Oh,
no.
damn.
I don't know about
Crash
that.
Bandicoot Racing. I don't.
Alright.
What you mean?
Diddy Kong Racing, really?
Yeah, bro. I used to have it on like the Nintendo.
Yeah, I
No?
used to play that.
Am I alone on that?
Yeah, you're alone on
Oh,
that.
my bad. No, that okay. So that definitely wraps up everything we
Yeah.
got today. Any closing statements you guys want to make?
Yes. Watch Peru get their ass beat by Brazil.
You see, Doug, why are you gonna?
Why you have to do
Tell
Nando?
them to do
So,
something that's against their will.
for anyone that doesn't know, Fernando is a
Peruvian.
Is Peruvian. Anything else from anyone else? No. That closes everything out?
No. I want everybody to have a safe 4th of July.
No blowing off your hands like JPP.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta throw that in
Damn.
there?
Okay.
Poor
Be
dude.
safe.
Yeah.
Cool. Be
sure.
chill.
Drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly. Okay, I'm done.
Responsibly.
Are you drunk?
Are you drunk right now? He had too many White Claws before the podcast.
Let's not even talk about White Claws right now.
Everybody have a good one.
Yeah. Check us out on our social media as always. Prospect Talk _.
Doug's a bum.